Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is January 19th, 2021, and we're going to call this meeting order at 7:30 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Dalzell is absent this evening. Trustee Zielinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez? Here. Trustee McLaughlin?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Navas-Esparza? Here. Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start our reports, we did have an item on the agenda under the finance report to approve our
Is it number 4?
our audit,
Number
our
4.
audited financials, and we have a Zoom call going right now. Hey, John, how are you? Good. With BKD. Thank you. Now we can hear you. With BKD auditors, and what I'd like to do is take the meeting a little out of sequence and start with that, so we don't have to keep them on the line while we're doing all of our reports. Trustee McLaughlin, would you mind doing your report first?
Well, I'll do just that item.
Okay, thanks.
Approval of the fiscal year 20 audited financials.
Did anyone have any questions on that? Because we have the auditors online here. They presented last week at the committee meeting. No question? Then, John, as long as there was no questions, what I'll say then is we've got this on our consent agenda for approval at the end of the meeting, and certainly we'll vote on that at the end of the meeting. Should there be any question, we'll certainly get back to you, but there's none at this time, and I think you're okay you don't have to stay with us if you didn't wish.
Okay, absolutely. If any questions come up after this, feel free to reach out. I would you all know how to contact me. If not, Joyce can certainly provide that information.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for your help on the audit. Everything worked great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll go back to my report then. The couple of notes before I get to my agenda item. As of yesterday, we went back to our area, South Cook County, went back to Tier 2 resurgence mitigation. Really not much has changed with that, except for I did get a memo reminding us that video gaming is back in play. That's available between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. Daily, and then every day, I should say. Also, casinos are open again from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Neither place is offering food or drink at their establishments. As far as bars and restaurants are concerned, still no indoor service under Tier 2. All bar and restaurant patrons should be seated at tables outside if that's their choice, and limited to 10 guests in both indoor and outdoor settings. I don't know why they put indoor on there if they're asking not to have indoor service, but I'm sorry, I apologize. That refers to the meetings and social events gatherings can be 10 guests in either indoor or outdoor settings. Next is organized group and recreational activities. Still, recreational and sports facilities are limited to the lesser of 25 guests or 25% of the overall room capacity in both indoor and outdoors. Face coverings must be worn at all times in fitness centers, including while engaged in individual exercise, regardless of person or machine spacing. So again, not much has changed with that, but our positivity rate is looking better. Next, I had today I got a memo. I was actually on a Zoom call today with the Southland Chamber of Commerce, and they had 4 mayors on there today talking about how we navigated our pandemic and how our what's new in our communities. So I was on with Mayor Reinbold from Richmond Park, Mayor Gardner from Glenwood, Mayor Wells from Phoenix, Illinois, and myself, and it was a nice 1-hour shared interest and so forth, so I appreciate being offered the opportunity to share what's great about our community and how we're doing with the navigating our pandemic. Also, they just issued a memo this afternoon that said Cook County, I guess the governor announced this earlier today, that as of starting today, Cook County included 4 more sites for vaccinations. I was trying to get one here in Alsip, but certainly it's a state prerogative as far as where they want to place these locations. And right now, the closest to us is a designated, well, I'll tell you the 4 spots. One's in North Riverside at 1800 South Harlem Avenue. The next is the Cook County Health's Robbins in Robbins, Illinois, their health center, which is at 13450 South Kedzie in Robbins, Illinois. They have another in Cicero, Illinois at 2423 South Austin Boulevard, and then the last one was Cook County Health's Cottage Grove facility in Ford Heights. That's at 1645 Cottage Grove Avenue. All 4 locations will begin vaccinations today, Tuesday the 19th, and will be open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. They will be available for healthcare workers who are part of the Phase 1A before opening to those eligible for the 1B in January 25th. Beginning January 25th, the state will move to Phase 1B of the vaccine plan, and sites will begin vaccinations for eligible population by appointment only. As a part of the 1B, all residents over the age of 65 and frontline essential workers can receive the vaccine. So that's all they're putting out at this time. I got a memo yesterday, which includes the second round of PPP. So for those that might not be familiar with it, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity is kicking off 2021 with the reopening of the Paycheck Protection Program. What they're saying is that they've set up 2 programmatic webinars in early February. One will focus on the Business Enterprise Program for businesses that are minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-owned, and/or owned by a person with a disability. The second one will focus on our Advantage Illinois program. Also, the Small Business Administration PPP program. This round of PPP will continue to be processed through participating financial institutions and will be available through March 31st, 2021. This round will authorize up to $284 billion. This round is open to both first draw PPP loans and second draw PPP loans. In general, the first draw PPP loan is for eligible borrowers who did not receive a PPP loan before the program closed in August 2020. The second draw PPP loan is for certain eligible borrowers that previously received a PPP loan and used the full amount of their first draw PPP loan on authorized expenses. Generally they have to have 300 employees or less and have suffered a 25% reduction in gross receipts. I guess that's probably the strongest point of all that. Always you throw a couple more PPPs in there and stuff. So, these are great programs. I have a lot of my friends that are business owners that were very thankful for these programs yet too. So again, these are good programs that our government's offering, and I'll ask tomorrow, I'll have Becky Smith, my assistant, we'll put this on both our website and Facebook so folks can access this information then too. But this is really essential for small businesses that are struggling. So first on your agenda this evening, I had the approval of the mayor's appointment of Alsip President Joan Ross as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, with her term to expire January 1st, 2024, as this appointment fills the vacancy of Commissioner Jim Tarquino, who resigned because he had moved away from the village. Second was the approval of the mayor's reappointment of Alsip resident Chuck Rolfson as a Planning and Zoning Commissioner with his term to expire January 1st, 2024. Third on your agenda is the approval of the mayor's reappointment of Alsip resident Kevin O'Connell as a member of the Police and Fire Commission, expiring January 1st, 2024. Fourth on the agenda is the approval of the mayor's reappointment of Alsip resident Jim Quinn as a member of the Police Pension Board. Again, his term will expire January 1st, 2024. And then last, the fifth one on your agenda was the approval of a real estate sale and redevelopment agreement by and between the Village of Alsip and Taco Burrito King Incorporated for land located at 11706 to 11730 South Pulaski Road in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, State of Illinois. And that's all I had for tonight. We have the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Approval of the December 2020 FOIA report. Then we have the approval of the minutes of February 10th, 2020 committee meeting, the approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2020 committee meeting, and then the presentation and the approval of the minutes of the January 4th, 2021 board meeting. And then there are 3 minutes that had been previously presented but weren't voted on, and those need approval. Those would be approval of the minutes of the April 8th, 2019 committee meeting, which had been, all 3 of these had been already submitted back on June 24th, 2019. Also the approval of the minutes of April 29th, 2019, and the approval of the minutes of the May 13th, 2019 committee meeting. And then I did just want to have further discussion and then see if the board wanted to approve early voting for the April 6, 2021 election. Again, those dates are March 22nd through April 5th. There is no updated data on the Cook County Clerk's website as far as times of day for that as of yet. I just checked 2 seconds ago.
Historically, what kind of requirements has the county had for early voting?
It's a matter of sending a letter and saying that we would hold it, and then they would coordinate dropping off the equipment 2 days before and then picking it up on the weekends. Usually I was coming in on Saturday and Sunday to open up and then close Village Hall, let the people in a half hour before the time started, and then opening up the doors when it did officially start, and then coming back to close the doors when it closed.
But, I mean, there's no, requirements in terms of the amount of space or facilities?
We've usually just put them up in the conference room.
Well,
With COVID, I don't know if there are going to be any additional requirements. I know personally for early voting in November, I went and voted in Payless, and they had it set up in a room, and it was pretty crowded for the amount of terminals that they had. There's nothing posted on the website as of yet.
And again, thinking about, my primary concern being the well-being of our staff in this building and the amount of access, that the number of people would have. What I would throw out for consideration is use of an alternate site. One of the things that came to mind to me is the Heritage One Clubhouse. The clubhouses are currently closed. We're not allowing the seniors in. So using a place like that where, it's smaller, there's far less cleaning, and less risk of the staff, contracting anything from the crowd coming through.
But how?
You have to staff it.
Yeah. Well, what would the staff be doing interacting? I thought election judges come and.
Right, the election judges, but we still have to do the cleaning no matter where it's at.
Like we have to do it just because it's a building that's open to the public, and I think there's more risk us sitting here without masks every meeting. If we're so concerned about staff and each other's well-being, we should be wearing those masks, right? And this is about voting and people's ability to exercise their right to vote. I'm still kind of baffled why we would be so against it. I understand COVID is happening, but again, we're all sitting here without our masks if we had such a great concern of impacting staff.
I don't think that we're against having it. We're saying in a more centralized area like the clubhouse at Heritage, where our staff, the village staff, is not there physically. It's a smaller space. It would be smaller cleaning. It would be probably a lot cheaper to clean that room rather than this entire village hall where we would probably flip the bill for it anyway. I mean, you try to get refunds from the state on anything, and good luck. So, I think that's a great idea.
I would question, first off, the clubhouses are closed because obviously we can't allow gatherings, maybe in this case now as of yesterday, but we haven't done so because of the fact that it's a 55 and older community.
Exactly.
And now to bring in the general public into something like that, even now, when we go to sanitize the building, we do that immediately if we have any indicator here of if an employee tested positive. I don't know how often, this is going to go on for almost 3 weeks, as far as early voting is concerned.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, early
2 weeks.
voting. So, I mean, certainly we can put a marker after those 2 weeks to have the place sanitized, but that on the regular election day, that
They're both
facility,
polling places anyway.
Correct.
Right.
yeah.
Which would be the Heritages and Apollo and Prairie and,
But all I'm saying is that, both Heritage 1 Clubhouse and Heritage 2 Clubhouse are already polling places on election day. So it's not as if,
I think my bigger point, though, being is it'd be one thing to parade folks through the Heritage, where they can't use those facilities right now, but I guess the crux of my thing is parking's at a premium there now, and you have people showing up all day long. There's not going to be any place to park. Somebody's going to get stuck, either the resident or the person coming in to vote. It's just going to be, it's going to be a major challenge. And I think we've got a better facility here to have that as we would there.
I agree.
And like I say, because of the parking.
If we have it here, can't we request, obviously the markers on the ground 6 feet apart, but also request a body be there to allow so many people in at a time?
If the county wants to do that, I'm not paying for that. I think we've got enough staff here we have enough responsibility on our shoulders now. But no, I think the public's been educated enough to know how to space themselves out and so forth then too.
Yeah.
I think the chief's concern last time was that, and it's not a big deal, but were some of the for general elections, they can be a little bit overwhelming when you have petitioners. No, not petitioners.
electioneers.
Electioneers, thank you. Electioneers that are jamming up our door because it was cold outside. Hey, that goes
yeah.
with the territory. You can't be in our doorway. You have to be outside, and it's for their own protection as well too. So we can police that aspect of it. But I think this is obviously this is a public paid facility that the taxpayers pay for, and I think the parking lot is more sufficient here than it would be at Heritage. I think we're going to jam up those residents. I don't think it's a bad idea what you had. I just don't think the parking just doesn't conform, in my opinion.
Well, the guest parking, or whatever you want to call it, on the north side, I think actually has more parking spaces than what we have right out here.
The north side of what? Heritage?
Right. Yes, right off 119th.
Oh, Heritage 1. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a parking lot for the residents over there, and I just don't, we've got a full parking lot here if we need it here and so forth. But I think the mindset has always been to come here. And again, you might trigger some emotion when folks come here and find out it's someplace else, and you might not get them to make that trip. They might just get upset and just drive away. I think sometimes I don't think we should change too many things about how we do business. Certainly, we'll have to plan on sanitizing the village hall. We do it every other month. Roger, are we ready for our next sanitizing?
Yes, we are.
Okay. But we do it every other month. Is that going to fall into the sequence of what we do?
If we waited until after the election, it would fall into it, yes.
Okay. All right. So then we'll make it work. Just my thoughts. Again, I'm a tiebreaker, but I do think that we should leave it where it stands.
What I would recommend, if you guys are going to do it in this building, is have it directed so that everybody parks on the east side of the building and have it 6 feet apart, having them coming in through the building department doors and having them wrap up and in. This way you're not walking all the way through the building. It limits how many people are actually walking all the way through. Because if you have them park in the parking lot, they're walking from one end of the building all the way to the other. Have them stagger outside and walk up and in. It's simple signage.
Well, that's the key to it right there, signage, because everyone's got that trained mindset, that's the parking lot, that's where I park, that kind of thing yet too. So, I mean, we'd have to put some significant signage to get people drawn over, and obviously remind our employees they can't park there either.
That's something that's simple and easy to do. We can send out emails to all the employees, there's no parking at that, designated time.
Mm-hmm.
This way, they can park right there and they can walk right into the east door.
That's fine. It's just so it's a matter of signage. We can try it. It's 2 weeks worth, now like it's a month or two. All right.
And that is all I had, Mayor Ryan.
Clerk, let me ask you, with these minutes, I just noticed this, with these minutes, with the February 10th and 24th, these are from 2020, so this is the first time these are being presented.
They were presented last week so that they would be able to be.
Oh, no, I get that,
Right.
but I went back and I was looking just to make sure that, because when Trustee Navas-Esparza was asking last week or the week before, she asked too, are we all caught up with 2019?
2019, all the boards are complete, and after this week's, there are 13 committee meetings that had previously been presented but hadn't been voted on.
So why are we in 2020 if we haven't finished 19?
Because there's only so many of the old ones that you had wanted to be presented. So I was taking the one to be approved, so I was taking the ones that had been previous presented and not voted on.
Right. Well, it wasn't what I wanted. It's
Well, that's what, when we were doing this, the consensus was to do 4 old and 1 or 2 new.
Right.
So I went to the oldest that had been previously presented but hadn't been voted on.
Okay. So on the ones, so how many minutes are still pending in 2019?
13,
13 committee?
committee
minutes?
only.
Okay.
All boards have been done.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. So you're jumping ahead because these had never been presented?
Correct.
Calling them new, but
Because they hadn't been seen before, correct. And we're putting them out so a week before they're voted on so that they can be looked at.
because I saw maybe 1, 2, 3, I saw about 5 from 19. They hadn't been presented, and that's part of my question is, why are we taking these out of sequence?
The ones for 19, again, there were 13, I just reviewed the log that I put together.
Okay.
There were 19 committee meetings that had already been presented previously that hadn't been voted on.
All right. I just don't want to take them out of sequence. We're trying to get this done.
I understand.
Get caught up here. All right. Attorney's report, Mike Kankar is with us. No report tonight, Mike? I do not have an engineer's report tonight. Usually he'll submit something if there's anything going on. And last time we talked, we were, Danny Travin's here from Water. Dan, have you anything from the engineer? Is he working on anything with you right now?
Not currently.
Dan, is the water tower done?
It is, well, I mean, the water tower is full, but it is not, the project still has a punch list to, finalize.
Okay, I'm on mic here, but, so they're doing punch list work right now. Very good. Okay. Public forum, did anyone in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Nobody? Standing committee reports, then we'll go back to finance and IT. Trustee McGlowan.
First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated January 15th, 2021, totaling $417,691.36. Next, I have a request for approval of accounts payable dated January 19th, 2021, from the recap general fund, $418,594.31. Road and Bridge, $6,972.80. MFT, $206.05. Pulaski Road Corridor TIF, $20,200.65. Water and sewer, $564,284.23. Heritage, $70,128.04, for a grand total all funds of $1,080,386.08. We already talked about number 4. Number 5 on my list, approval of the fiscal year 20 treasurer's report. And finally, I have a request for approval to submit the change of principal authority or primary contact change form to Illinois ePay. And again, this last one is just to take Kent's name off of the documents and replace them with Joyce and John. And that's all I have under finance.
Trustee, I think you might have skipped number 3 with the
You
declaration.
did, and I did skip over that one. Sorry. Approval of a resolution approving the declaration and disbursement of surplus monies in the tax increment financing district number 1.
Thank you. So
And again, that amount for clarification is $100,000 to be dispersed amongst the taxing
very good.
bodies.
Thank you. Next, fire, Trustee Murphy.
I have an update on ambulance 2023. That is a typo. It should be 2032. With that, it was delivered back to us on Saturday the 16th. So we're now back at 3 ambulances. The repairs on it are unknown, as we have not gotten the invoice yet, and as soon as I get a hold of that, I will share that with the board. And that's all I have, sir.
Yeah, I heard just a transmission, which was, he said wasn't too bad, so that's good. We have 3 ambulances back now. Next, we have the Police and Traffic Safety Committee. Trustee Dalzell's not here.
We have an approval of the Police Department November 2020 monthly activity report. Number 2, also the approval of Police Department December 2020 monthly activity report. And that's all I have tonight.
All right. Public Work and Boat Launch, Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of the Public Works Department December 2020 monthly activity report. I have an approval to enter into a sub-award agreement between the Village of Alsip and Morton Arboretum for the green infrastructure project at the boat launch. And I have approval to advertise for engineering through quality-based selection QBS to seek the qualifications from civil engineer firms to perform Phase 2 engineering on the 131st Street reconstruction project. That's all, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we had the Sewer and Water Report, Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Thank you. I have the approval of the Water Department December 2020 monthly activity report, and that's all I have.
Very good, thanks. Danny, we didn't do much more with that. I know we talked, and we did appropriate some money for, we can talk tomorrow more about the storage garage. Remember we were talking about throwing that up? I want to revisit that with you. Let's talk about that tomorrow, okay?
Mike and I have had a couple of meetings on it.
Good.
Bring you up to date.
Okay. So, next we have the Building and Health, Trustee Zelinski.
Number 1, I have an approval of the Building Department December 2020 monthly activity report. And second, approval of the Health Department December 2020 monthly activity report. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, at Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee Murphy.
I didn't have a report to hit the agenda, but we do have 5 insurance policies coming up on the 1st of May, and those are regarding workman's comp, general liability, public official liability, law liability, automobile pertaining to liability and auto physical damage, primary excess liability, and excess liability. If we want to go out for RFP on these, we'd need to put these on the agenda for next week to be voted on.
Yeah, we're supposed to, if we do that, Trustee, we're supposed to give a 90-day notice to the carrier, and we need to do that before February 1st.
Yeah.
What we can do is, if your committee wants to bring that to the board,
I think we should do it. That's my own opinion. I think this is good practice. I think it keeps everyone competitive.
Sure.
That's my,
Well, if you decide you want to do that, because we're not going to have a meeting before, I mean, we have a committee meeting, I can always set up a special board meeting to follow, just to vote on that, if that's your wish. If you want to do that, let me know, and I'll schedule the special board meeting to follow the committee next week.
okay.
All right? Anybody have any questions for Trustee Murphy? Okay. I would agree with you. I think it does keep our costs very competitive, and nobody can say that we didn't offer them an opportunity to. I get a lot of phone calls asking if they can quote business from us on different matters, and certainly that's always an important one yet too. So next we had the special committee reports. Economic Development, Trustee Nava Esparza.
Thank you. Some of my previous updates have just been about resources offered by the DCO and SBA, such as PPP and the Big Interruption Grant Program. So I thought I'd switch gears and just provide an update about a resource available to residents of Cook County. And this is a program that's offered via the Community and Economic Development Association of Cook County, Inc., also known as CEDA. And this program is eligible, or is available to assist eligible residents of Cook County to apply for utility payment relief. These utility programs are available and open to all residents of Cook County, both City of Chicago and suburbs. So if you know someone that might need of support in regards to gas or electric support, furnace repair and replacement, or water assistance, to contact CEDA directly or to visit their website to look over the eligibility criteria. And that's all I have. And also, just as what was presented earlier, was the RDA between TBK and the village. And that's all I have for an update.
All right, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to that development from Taco Burrito King. Next, we had Village Property Report, Trustee McLaurin. Sorry.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Got notes on my sheet here. Next, Ordinance Legislation, Trustee Zelinski.
I have an approval of an ordinance vacating a strip of land dedicated for road and public utility purposes located at or near 3843 West 128th Place in the Village of Alsip, Illinois, Cook County, Illinois.
So again, that's that small strip of land. Actually, Trustee, I always call you Trustee Mike. I always upgrade you. I mean, you get a better job as being the attorney. But Attorney Mike Kankar sent me a plot of survey today, just as a reminder that this particular stretch of property is immediately inside the gate that was just put up, where we've got a new business at 3843 West 128th Place. That's called Tarp House. And basically, we're vacating space right inside the gates that's going to be 66 feet deep by 192 feet long. And again, we just need access to get to. Danny, what do we have there? A sanitary sewer? Is that what was in there? Or
Storm sewer.
Storm sewer? Okay. So while we're relinquishing the property, we can still get access to it, right? Okay.
We get $25,000 too.
And we're getting $25,000 for vacating the property, right? Which, Mike, we agreed, that was a fair price on what we talked about, yes. All right, thank you. Next, Planning and Zoning Licenses, Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of the list of licenses dated December 31st, 2020 through January 8th, 2021. And also I want to ask Roger if you can please send me the court-reported minutes from the January 6th, 2021 Planning and Zoning meeting as soon as you can. Thank you.
Did anyone have any presentations, petitions, or communications?
I did. I just wanted clarity in regards to our decision regarding the item discussed in regards to early voting. Is it a yes, we're offering it? And if so, if we're offering it here, do we have to delay it any further?
Let's just put it this way. You didn't have a location written down on the sheet, but typically it's always taken place here. And if it was going someplace else, I think we'd have to stipulate that.
Okay. So we're moving forward with offering early voting.
It's letter M on the agenda for voting.
Okay.
Right.
I just want to, I know because we had discussion about it and so forth, so
Okay.
I just wanted to get clarity in
Yeah,
regards.
no, if anybody wants discussion, they can pull it for more talk, but yeah, I mean, typically, it would be addressing this location right here.
Okay.
I did want to share, too, over this past Saturday, we did conduct a coat drive outside. Always I want to acknowledge my assistant, Becky Smith. Becky, thank you, a great job this weekend coordinating that effort. Bimbo Bakeries did a wonderful job bringing out bags and bags of coats. We actually had even like snow pants for kids and stuff like that. They had new coats and mostly used. And man, I wanted somebody to take that leather jacket. I'm telling you, it's old school. They actually had a women's jacket out there. It was an old biker jacket with the long fringe on it and stuff like that. Nobody picked it. I picked that thing as soon as I saw it. It was a good-looking coat. Nobody picked it. But they brought out a lot of bakery goods. And even tonight, folks, if anybody wants, it's getting kind of slim, but there's still fresh bread in the vestibule of the police station. Please help yourself. All packaged bread, and the expiration dates are still pretty far out there and stuff then too. But folks I've posted on social media all weekend long, people are stopping there to grab some bread for their families if they need it. So thank you again, Becky, and more and just as importantly is thank you, Bimbo Bakeries, and too. Did anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda?
I'd like to remove letter M, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry, M.
M as in Mary.
Anybody else? Okay, can I get a motion then to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish the consent agenda. Again, letter M as in Mary has been removed. Trustee Dalzell is absent. Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas-Barza.
Yes.
Motion carries to establish.
Then can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda. Looking down at letter N as Nancy, approval of a list of payroll dated January 15th, 2020, totaling $417,691.36. Letter O is in orange, approval of a list of accounts payable dated January 19th, 2021, totaling $1,080,386.08. Letter P as in Paul, approval of a resolution approving the declaration and disbursement of surplus monies in the tax increment financing TIF District Number 1 will become resolution number 2021-01-R-1. Letter V as in Victor, approval of an ordinance vacating a strip of land dedicated for road and public utility purposes located at or near 3843 West 128th Place in the village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, will become ordinance 2021-01-2. Again, this is roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda as presented. Trustee Dalzell is absent. Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas-Barza.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right, thank you. Next, then we'll go back to one item that was removed. That's letter M. The approval of early voting for the April 6, 2021 election. Did I have a motion and a second on that? No motion?
We can make a
Why was
motion
it
to
pulled?
approve it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Second.
Do we have questions on that? Trustee McLaurin, you had a
Yeah.
Well, I
question?
say I pulled it strictly because I think it's in our best interests to, I'm not saying no to early voting, I'm saying we should investigate our options, because I'm concerned about the well-being of our staff when majority of our people are in this building, and I want to come up with an alternative that'll protect our employees.
Well, well, go ahead. And did anybody have, before I say anything, did anybody else have a thought on that?
Can we table it for discussion for next week? we need to make a decision now?
We don't even have the request yet, so.
Was it received?
No. There's been no email, there's been no snail mail, and there are no times posted on, as far as times of day, on the Cook County Clerk's website.
Did you contact the office?
Yes,
Oh.
I've emailed, and
Just-
they said that they were that they were putting it in the mail, that they were sending it, but I've received nothing.
Well, then, that being said, like you said, while the question is you're not disagreeing with the question, the way it's written, it's just that...
We have
you're-
nothing to actually approve at this point in time.
No, you do. You've got something to prove.
Well, we have nothing from the county yet, so we're not establishing hours. And I said, I think we have time to investigate an alternate location.
But why
It's just my
complicate it? I
No.
mean, it's been hosted here before. And to the mayor made valid points as well of you're now imposing on Heritage residents in regards to, parking. And then also, I mean, having residents come here thinking that this is a polling site and then they're turned, no, it's not. And then maybe they don't go and exercise their right to vote. Because people don't work their traditional 9 to 5, either. So early voting is for that purpose, to provide more of a convenient time for people to vote.
And one thing I think the board, the trustee makes a great point, that you don't necessarily have to decide this evening, only because the clerk hasn't got a confirmation of any type from the Cook County Clerk's office. Certainly, I don't think we need to just be always, while this is a taxpayer-paid building, and they expect to be able to use these facilities to vote on, so are the schools, so are the parks, so are the libraries.
And to me, another perfect spot, absolutely perfect
I'm
spot
just
would
saying,
be
no,
Worth
but-
Township.
But what I'm saying is, we immediately assume that the onus is on us. I mean, did any of the other taxing bodies wish to step up?
I say Worth Township has those 2 huge gyms and plenty of parking over there.
Well, again, I haven't had any discussion with them.
No, and that's why I said it would be nice to
We
know.
have enough time to actually, if we want
To
to
investigate.
I mean, I see both points. I mean, what Trustee McLaughlin is saying is a good point, and having it here, not to change it because people don't like change, is also a good point. So, I mean, but we do have the time to continue to discuss it, and
So what we can say is, while we've got, let's put it this way, we can certainly just put a stipulation on her, Attorney Kankar, we can just say with a designation to be decided.
Yeah, with the location, you determine later.
Right, okay.
I mean, I think the most important thing is to have it here in Alsip for our residents that are here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll add that language onto it, with the location to be determined.
So there's still a motion and a second, so this is to approve with the destination to be determined at a later date.
This is to approve having early voting in the village, right?
So again, updating it to state approval of early voting for April 6, 2021 election with location to be determined.
Right.
Okay, so I had a first from trustee Zelinski, correct?
Yes.
And a second from trustee Navis-Barza, correct?
Yes.
Roll call number 3 to approve approval of early voting for April 6, 2021 election with the location to be determined. Trustee Dalzell is absent. Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navis-Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve with the location to be determined.
All right, thank you. Next, did anyone have any unfinished business? Any new business? None? And can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Then we'll adjourn this meeting at 8:15 PM, and everyone enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah.